How's it going, guys? This is going to be a little bit of a different video than I have been posting lately. I've been doing a lot of the RC car stuff, but I really wanted to do a video talking about this game that you're seeing right here. And if you can't tell or you don't know what this is The Last of Us 2. Um, so this is the screen that you're given after you complete it. So I'm going to just show you guys. You see I've got New Game Plus. So that's proof I have completed it. So I'm not talking about this game with, you know, anything, about the leaks or spoilers or anything like that. Because I didn't even look for those because I loved the first game so much that I did not want to ruin this one by looking at those spoilers. So luckily I was able to avoid those. Um, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the game because it is controversial, and I want to give my opinions on it. So we're going to start with the gameplay and work our way towards the other aspects of the game. So the gameplay is amazing. The combat is amazing. The visuals amazing. Sound design amazing. Literally everything that has to do with gameplay is near spotless. You know, there's a few things that are kind of repetitive. You get into an area with some enemies, and you really got a choice between about 3 or 4 different ways that you want to go through it. You can go fast and loud, and shoot everybody and have no mercy, or you can sneak through and not touch a single one and find the exit and get out of there, or you can stealthily kill every single person and then loot everything and leave. There's just a bunch of different ways that you can do it, and combinations of those three, which is cool because it gives you the ability as the player to choose how you want your Ellie or the other character that you get to play as. You get to choose how you want them to be in combat and how you picture them to be in combat. And the two characters, they play differently. They have different weapons. They have different strengths. They have different weaknesses, different skill trees. Um, and I'm not gonna do any spoilers in this. So I'm not gonna tell you who that other character is, because it is very important that you see that person in the story. Um, but like I said, they're very different, and they both have their own story arcs. And even though um, this other character, you know, I'll be honest, I didn't care about this other character at all. I did not care about him at all. I wanted him to be dead. For most of the game, I wanted him to die, and I didn't really like how the developers made me play as this other character while she was hurting characters that we have known since the beginning of The Last of Us back in 2013. So that was really hard for me. But I understood why they were doing it in the end. Um, but yeah, like I said, that's the gameplay. The gameplay is really good. Accessibility is really good. So you can do all kinds of different changes of difficulty, visuals, um, all kinds of different settings that you can play around with. If you want ammo to be harder to find, you can select that. If you want it to be easier to find, you can select that. If you want to be able to sneak easier, but the enemies have more health, you can do that, or vice versa. Um, I personally left it alone for the first playthrough, just a medium difficulty, just so that I could, kind of see what the game is supposed to be like when you're playing it. Um, and it was really good gameplay wise. Now I want to get to the story. And I know I said that there wouldn't be any spoilers just a few minutes ago, but there's no spoilers in the gameplay section of this review or talk about this game, and that is now over. I'm entering the story side, so there is some spoilers here. Um, Abby, the other playable character, the way that you're introduced to her is her hunting down Joel and Tommy. She is literally hunting the two main protagonists from the first game. And it was pretty easy to figure out that's what she was doing, even though they didn't say Joel's name at the beginning. I knew that she was after Joel, um, and so knowing that I'm having to play as somebody that is after Joel um, was was hard at first. But when they finally get Joel and Tommy in a situation, I'm not going to tell you exactly how that works out, but when they get him into a situation and she ends up killing Joel, she kills Joel in such a brutal, terrible, sad way that just goes beyond how people were killed in the first game. I know there were some really dark areas in the first game, like the cannibals and all that stuff, but these people, she beat Joel to death with a golf club. Slowly beat him to death, and as you're playing as Ellie, approaching the area where it's happening, you're hearing his screams, you're hearing his cries for help, and it is just very hard to witness. And I think, 2 hours into the game, when that happens, I'll just be honest, I was strapped with anger. I hated Abby. I wanted her dead, and that's what drove me through the first half of the game when you're playing as Ellie. I wanted to find this chick. I wanted to kill her. I wanted to kill all her friends that were with her, and you get to kill most of those friends, or at least get to see them dead. Um, as you're playing as Ellie, I mean, you beat some of them to death. You stab one of them in the neck, watch him bleed out all over the place. Um, this one, she breathes spores, and she knows that she's gonna die, but you still beat her to death with a pipe. I mean, it is just extremely brutal, um, and you can see, in the story, as Ellie progresses, she's not the same character that she was in the first game. She's changed in those 4 years because she found out what Joel did at the end of the first game, and of course that is the biggest driving factor in the story in this one. So, I know I'm probably jumping around a lot, but this is just off the cuff. Abby, um, the reason why she killed Joel, and of course in the story you have no idea why she killed Joel. You're trying to figure it out. Well, he was a smuggler, and maybe that was something to do about that, or it could have been anything because Joel killed a lot of people. He was a rough, tough person before he met Ellie, and changed after he met Ellie. Um, so it was anybody's guess. Well, what turns out, Abby is the daughter of the surgeon that Joel killed whenever he saved Ellie from being killed by the Fireflies. And when you find that out, um, I have to say I did empathize. I did empathize with Abby at that point. I understood why she killed Joel. It wasn't just because of money or supplies or he made her mad or anything like that. No, this was the man that killed her father who was trying to save the world. And I can understand the anger and the drive for revenge from her. And of course, after that, you switch back to another drive of revenge from Ellie, and you basically in the story you see this drive for revenge tear her apart, tear her life apart. All her friends die. 90% of her friends die, or they leave her, and they're angry at her, or she loses all the memories of Joel, like Joel teaching her to play the guitar. She loses her fingers in a battle, and in the last battle, and she can't play the guitar anymore. She can't play the song that Joel taught her. So it's like Joel is just completely gone now. He's gone because of her quest for revenge. And for the most part, this story did satisfy me. I know a lot of people are saying that, nah, this is not the game I wanted, blah, 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 blah. The story did satisfy me. It did need to exist because it showed the consequences of Joel's actions. And Ellie and Abby basically they are a consequence of that action. Obviously, Ellie would be gone because she would have been killed by the fireflies, and her dad would have survived and would have made a cure for the disease, and the world would have been a different place 4 years later than it is now. Um, but yeah, it's in the one thing for me that I wanted the end of this story to be, is I wanted Ellie to kill Abby to avenge Joel, because it would have ended it right there. It would have been over. It would have been a good place to end. Kill Abby, and then Ella, Ellie goes back to she goes back to Jackson and tells Tommy and that her and Dina happily ever after in Jackson. That would have been the best ending, but that is not what happened. And I'm going to tell you the exact details of the ending here, so just be ready for that. Um, Ellie doesn't kill Abby. She has a golden opportunity to do it, but she does not do it. She strangles her, she pushes her underwater, and is holding her there. And you're thinking, this is it. We've got her. It's done. You're waiting for her to stop moving. And then all of a sudden, Ellie relents and lets her up and tells her to leave. The game spends its entire time showing you how it's made Ellie stronger, that she wants to get revenge. And then at the very end, it basically shows that she knows that revenge is wrong and that she's lost everything because of it. And I have to say that is not a satisfying ending for me. And that's not the end of the ending. She goes back to her house. Dina's gone. Tommy's gone. All of her friends have left her. All of her stuff is gone. And she goes and tries to play the guitar that Joel gave her. And like I said, she lost her fingers and she can't play it. And it's just the most tragic, sad ending that I think I've ever seen. And it may take me a couple more days to process it, but as of right now, gameplay on Last of Us 2, great. Definitely pick it up and play it. But the story is just wrenching, heartbreaking, and brutal, and need to be prepared for that. But that's all for today, guys. We'll see you next time. Maybe I'll do a another RC video, or maybe I'll do a playthrough of this game, because I am going to play through it again. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.